A very good evening to everyone joining us on YouTube this evening. I'm Ryan Hill and I'll be with you in the booth covering tonight's racing action, which is SimRace South Africa back at you with another season. We are starting with the Renault Clio Cup tonight, and tonight's feature is a little bit something different. We are doing what we call HLQ, which stands for Hot Lap Qualifying, and that is just an anticipation of a new series we have starting in a couple of weeks' time. So we have about, I think it was about, actually let me get the final counts. Let's see, we have 66 drivers registered for the Renault Clio Cup so far. And so essentially what drivers are going to be doing tonight will be split across a number of different divisions, because obviously we can't have all 66 drivers on track at once. And tonight I'm going to be covering split one, which is essentially the top ranked drivers in our community, while they try and shoot out and post the best lap times. But instead of doing it under qualifying conditions, they're going to be doing it during race conditions. So that's quite interesting. Alright, we are back. Apologies for that. I think I'd mucked up a setting with the stream. I do have a new monitor now, which is of higher resolution than I think YouTube was expecting. Chat, please let me know how it's going. If the stream is any better or not. Otherwise I'll need to do some more tweaking, unfortunately. What I was getting at earlier before we hit the break was the track layout we're on. We're at Brands Hatch Indy this evening. And a quick look at the weather forecast for you guys as well. Thanks Jamie Nichols for confirming chat that is fixed. Hopefully it stays that way. The weather forecast. So we're racing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon today. Base temperature of 26 degrees Celsius. Base road temp of 5 degrees. Which all that means is that the track temperature is 5 degrees higher than the base temperature, so we can see that the temperature of the track is currently around 31 degrees Celsius. And otherwise clear winds today. Yeah, I do see some buffering has started again. Apologies, ladies and gents. Okay, we will try this once again. I'm hoping that this could be third time lucky and that the stream does receive enough data. There may be a couple more tweaks like this as we continue. Sorry, gents and ladies. Alright, so we have approximately 5 minutes left of qualifying, which is literally just to set the starting grid of the race. The race is actually all that counts tonight. Drivers will be ranked into the divisions once the championship starts based on the fastest lap that they managed to record during race conditions. So drivers now have the next 5 minutes to sort that out. We're going to quickly go to a little ad break, and I'll catch you in exactly 2 minutes time. Oh boy, alright. Hopefully we've shuck off all those gremlins. Alright, so just to catch everyone up with what we're doing, and a big hello to everyone in chat as well. How's it, Hank, Gerard, Ollie's Gaming, Corne, Tarina? Good to have all of you with me. Gerard, you haven't missed anything. So this is just the hot lap qualifying for the upcoming championship series that is starting in a week or so's time. This is to set essentially the divisions for the grids. So with the last few minutes of qualifying, I'm going to go ahead and jump to the track, and let's see who we can go and find. We will start with Nick Hodson, who is currently top of the leaderboard. You can see hopefully in the top left, I'm hoping that's legible and big enough text. But you can see he is followed by Sean Bingham and Mikhail Matthews rounding out the top three currently, and Ross Bartle is going to be that second place, second on the grid, that is second row on the grid. We have a number of drivers out on track tonight. In terms of who all is expected to be here, you can see the names. In terms of lap times, what drivers can be expecting to be putting forward, it's all going to be sub-minutes on the Indy circuit. Looks like Nick's best lap so far is a 53.08 dead. Sean Bingham right now, that gap interval, it looks like he's currently out on an out lap, so we can maybe stay with him and see when he crosses the line what he's going to be capable of putting through. Does have a little bit of traffic ahead of him, and P4 that looks like possibly Ross Bartle. But his best so far, there we go, his last was a 53.7, his best a 53.1, so it's not able to improve up to catching next time for the time being. We can see that gap to Nick is a 0.233 seconds. Just having a look at Mikhail Matthews go around as a puff of smoke as he does so. Just coming down Graham Hill Bend and rounding into the Cooper Straight. We also have Stas van der Westhuizen on track, which we will have a look at him going by now in car number 72. And his best is a 53.488 so far, another puff of smoke as well, just rounding Clark Curve and across the line. He posts a 54.1, so no improvement for Sass over there, just lost quite a bit of time in sector 1 it seems. Almost a second off his pace, perhaps he was caught up in some traffic. Puff of smoke as the cars bottom out at the kink of that hill as well. And into Druid's hairpin he goes, and ahead of him for company it looks like he has MM, which is Mikhail Matthews. I'm just looking at some of the new graphics we have on screen for you today. In the bottom middle of your screen we've got the sort of progress bar with the little dots. The blue dot is the car that I'm currently focused on, and then we've got if a particular person is ahead of them in terms of time, they'll be green. Behind them, ahead of them will be in orange, and the current leader will be in red. And that the same goes for the little mini map in the bottom left hand side of your screen as well, where you can see, oh, there's a big spin as Sass goes off and collects the barrier as well. And that certainly dashed any chances that he was hoping of getting back to, but that does signify the end of qualifying right now. And we will be heading into the race session very shortly. I'm going to go to another quick intro video. Right, we are back just on the formation at the end of qualifying. Drivers will be putting their final sim race setups to good use. I will be making sure that my car is not on the grid as we do so. So looking at the final qualifying, of course, Nick Hodson right out in front in the black and green car number 78. We've got Sean Bingham, who's lining up just behind him, staggered in car number 35 in blue and orange. Mikhail Matthews in P3, car number 105, in that white and red stripes. We have Martin Groeneveld rounding out that second row of the grid, car 85 in yellow. Waiting for the lights to go green. We'll stay with Nick as it does so. Car's revving up. We have about 10 seconds. The lights will be coming on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lights. We wait for them to go off. And we are racing, but there's a problem with Nick. Oh, Nick has an extremely slow start. And immediately Sean Bingham is up to first place, and Ross Bartle going around, and there's a little bit of argy-bargy by Sas van der Vestes and down the field. And we've got a little bit of buffering there. Apologies for that. I'll have to try and tweak some more before our next stream, hoping it manages to recover. But oh, we've got another car falling off the grid. It looks like Sean Bingham is running extremely slowly. He's just dropped back a little bit and almost looks like he's nursing a big problem, perhaps just waiting for the rest of the field to come through and dropping way down the pack. Meanwhile, Artis Boycer is up in second just behind Ross Bartle, and we have Mikhail Matthews currently challenging in P3, coming up to P2 position up the inside of Juids. Right, now we have guys settling into a rhythm. So a reminder, this being for the hot lap qualifying, it's all about the fastest lap now under race conditions. So you can keep an eye on the table on screen in your top left for essentially the best lap times. Currently we are having Ross Bartle lead the charge, not only in fastest lap, but currently holding P1 up front. Go on board with him as he is approaching a back marker of Renault Hatting. Let's just see how he copes with this back marker traffic, essentially when he's trying to improve upon his lap time. Renault is going a little bit wide, and there's what I mentioned about hitting the dust, whether that was intentional or not, but it does allow Ross Bartle to get through relatively unscathed. Let's have a little look further down the field. We have Roxanne Bottle in car number 25 in pink and white. Currently rounding. Oh, and there's a car up there in the barriers, but I think it's just been recovered to pit as she heads into Graham Hill Bend and quickly is out of the way. Goes, I'm not quite sure who's in the green and white car. They're traveling quite slowly as well, but also just relinquishing that lap. And so Roxanne dealing with some traffic here. And I'm sure that she's going to now attempt to start another fast lap. Is rounding the finish line now. She posts a 54.39. But I'm sure she's going to want to try and improve upon that now that she's dealt with some of that traffic. A lot of tyre smoke coming around up Halewoods Hill into Druids. And we'll stick with her. See how she gets on Graham Hill Bend. She'll have a nice good run. She's up on her delta, but loses a little bit of time. Not the best of exits there. She's lost all that advantage. Her delta now slipping into the red. Manages to claw back a little bit of a delta, but it's not going to be a massive improvement for Roxanne Bartle. She crosses the line and posted 54.071. Jumping on now to Chris Bernardi, who's having some argy-bargies there with quite a lot of argy-bargies, and off goes Chris in car number 25. I am not entirely sure who that was in the blue. So see another gaggle of cars coming through here, and currently focused on Martin Groeneveldt's best lap of 54.0. And I see Nick has actually just taken the fastest lap so far, posting at 53.30. He's coming across the line now, also almost improving on his delta, but posting at 53.321. And guys have another 24 odd minutes to essentially post their best laps under race conditions. Nick again also approaching some traffic now with that red and white car. I know Mikhail Matthews was in red and white, so I think that is Mikhail Matthews ahead of him. Stick with him and see if Nick can improve on his lap. See, Ross Bartle has snatched the fastest lap back from Nick as we speak, but that is a great exit from Nick Sayers. He gains another 0.3 seconds. Can he maintain it over the line? That would be enough to accelerate Nick. It doesn't look like it's made it enough of a difference. If anything, that's enough for Nick to have secured second position so far with a 53.188 over Ross Bartle's 53.106. Sector times, we do see Sean Bingham is currently doing the best time in Sector 1 and with a 30.7, and it looks like his theoretical best could be right up there because his Sector 2 time of a 22.4 is also matching both Nick Hodson and Ross Bartle to the splits. Right now we are seeing a fight between these three. Lots of smoke there. I'm going to head over to Gideon Benani's. I do like the paint job on this guy. The green and blue Renault logos and patterns. And they always run quite a little bit wide there off the Cooper straight. It's going to compromise his lap, and he's already pulling off with a big puff of smoke there in the foreground as cars head around that bend, final corner. And as Gideon heads around McLaren, final corner onto the straight, let's see if he sticks it up there for another flying lap. Lots of smoke. Almost seems like tire rubbing in a way as they bottom out there. Rather than rubber off the tarmac. Currently, Gideon is 0.3 down on his best. Not looking to improve this lap. We go on board here with Jeremy de Villiers. I'm glad to see Jeremy has made it into the server after he was struggling to join early for some reason. So good to see you in, Jeremy. And he's going around his current best of 53.51. Looking for a good exit there. Oh, he's gone. And commentator's curse, that's going to spin him right around and into the barriers. He will need to reset and go out again. Brakes glowing very hot, crossing the road there, but fortunately far enough away from any other cars to not impede. Car number 85 just going through there. I do believe that's Martin Groeneveld. And Martin is down half a second on his best, and he is pulling into the pits as well, so we will go and find another driver. See Sas van der Westhuizen sitting in the pits. He might be tweaking some setups and looking to go out again. We will quickly hop onto Gideon Bernardi once again, and he is coming up on the back of some traffic, and car number 25, that's Chris Bernardi in front of him. Devotes, just to answer a question from chat, does the finishing position mean nothing in this race? It's all about the lap time. Correct for now. We haven't enforced something like a minimum race distance. It's all about that fastest lap that can be captured under race conditions, during which drivers have just half an hour, 30-minute race to do so. 18 minutes and some change left in this particular race. So drivers are free to pit, go into the pits and make as many stops as they like. Obviously, where you come out into traffic is going to be a bit of a roll the dice situation unless you're looking at that track map very carefully. Cars do seem to be spread out. There's a little bit of a gap. If you can look on the track map in the bottom left. But otherwise, yeah, it is race conditions all the way. Up the inside goes P7, and as Gideon goes off, I believe that is Francois Bernardi going through, as well as Chris Bernardi ahead of him. Bernardi's out in force tonight, good to see. Sponsored by McDonald's. Livery on the side there. Oh, he's going for an inside line. No, he's pulling off and aborting that lap, it seems. Perhaps just letting some of the faster cars through so he can put himself into some clean air again. On board again with Nick Hodgson here. His personal best is still at 53.177, which is still holding him in second position to Ross Bartle with a 53.10. Stick with Nick and see if he can improve on this lap. He's pretty much on his delta. Going through Graham Hill Bend, he does run a bit wide, but I think the track limits allow you to get away with that. Yeah, well, I really appreciate the comment. We will also try and improve the stream for next time and sort out this buffering, make some tweaks. Nick's lost a lot of time there. He's definitely not going to improve this lap. So he will be going around again. It's going to be a balancing act for the drivers as well, with their tires, with the fuel. Obviously you want to try and run as low fuel as possible, minimize that weight, additional weight in the car, especially with these little lightweight four-wheel drive, front-wheel drive cars. It is a bit of a different beast. Quickly have a look at Renault Hatting, racing in the blue and orange Milan competition livery car. His PB so far 54.79. His last was a 56.4, but he is looking fairly good up on his delta at the moment. Pretty much spot on. It was 0.003 there for a second. A little bit of an untidy exit there at the Cooper Straight. And I think that's compromised his current lap, so I don't believe he's going to be able to pull it back. to make any improvement now on this one. Have a look at Roxanne Bartle, sister to Ross Bartle, currently out on the same track in the split one tonight. Her best of 53.93. And not going to be improving upon that this lap, but let's stick with her and see if she can go out on another flyer and what that'll mean for her very next lap. Her stab at improving her leaderboard time. Oh, there's a big drift going through the second to last there into the Clark curve now. And across the line, she will start a new flying lap. She does have P14, that's Gideon Bernardi behind her. I don't think Gideon's going to pose a challenge right now to Roxanne's pace. So let's see if she can keep her delta in the green, keep it inside the track limits, of course. While we stay with her, just answering another question from chat. Michael's asking, are there different splits? So absolutely. So for tonight's race, there are 60 odd drivers registered. We split them into grids of 15 essentially, 14 for split one because the 15th car was me, the commentator car. And once the championship starts, we'll be doing a very similar thing. Depending on where drivers post their lap times, they will be sorted into divisions of 15 cars each as well. In that way, especially with such a full lineup, 60 plus 70 cars, it does mean that there's always going to be some good action and close action on track with the fastest guys and girls driving next to each other. And yes, Michael, all 60 odd are racing now as we speak at the same time. So I'm just connected to the split 1 server. Split server 2 and 3 are all running concurrently as we speak. Unfortunately, I can't jump across to those and show you what's plotting there. But if you tune into our Discord, which I'll post in the chat shortly, you'll be able to check out all the chatter, all the race, and see how that's going. Big puff of smoke there. Just pulled out the Discord link in the chat, which I'll post. And Stan will stay with her for another lap as it looks like she's doing well up on her delta right now coming through Druids. She does tend to have a very good start, but then it seems to fall apart here in the middle, but we'll stick with her. She rounds 30s. Still needs to claw back about a 10th if she wants to be able to improve upon this lap time, and it's fairly well, but it's still just hovering around that delta. No real improvements yet, and yeah, it's going to post 2 seconds, 0.2 of a second rather, further. Dearbolt, I hope the stream's not down. OBS is telling me it's up. We will jump across now to Roxanne's sister, Ross Bartle. Sorry, Ali just confirming that it was down and it's back up again now. So clearly some streaming nigglies that I'll need to sort out before the next race. That's a good opportunity for me to do that now and dust off the gremlins before the season starts. Go back and do some more troubleshooting. And we'll be back with a really excellent stream from next week. Speaking of next week, oh, as Ross dips a wheel, and I think that's ruined his lap. I mean, certainly if the lap wasn't validated, it's made him a hell of a lot slower, but he's opting to stay out there as opposed to jump back to pits. Speaking of next week, so we have, aside from the ClioCup Championship, we have GT3 racing on Assetto Corsa Competizione, this of course being the original Assetto Corsa. So the hot lap qualifiers for the GT3 racing has already been done and dusted. So we will start with round 1 from next week Monday. I will be attempting to live stream that race as well. We are doing Watkins Glen on next Monday for round 1 of the Sim GT3 Championship. we also do a couple of other things around SimRace South Africa just for fun. We have a rally championship currently running on Richard Burns' rally, obviously being quite an older system, but it is modded. And aside from that, the rally, we are looking to move to the latest title from EA, which is essentially Dirt Rally 3, but it's WRC. So look out for that coming in a couple of months' time. And then we run some ad hocs. We have an actual ad hoc race coming up this Wednesday on Assetto Corsa. We're going to be at Sachsenring racing the Volvo S40s. And then we also have something called a Hot Lap Leaderboard Challenge, which is going to be on Race Room. And that's the intention with that is to rotate every week or two with a different car track combination and just see what guys can post as their fastest lap times for a little bit of fun. Right, out there right now, I'm currently on with Jeremy de Villiers here. As the race goes, he is currently in P2. In terms of fastest lap times, it's looking pretty good. 53.511 is best, which I think is going to place him somewhere around 5th currently, as far as split 1 goes. According to the track map, you guys can see in the bottom left, the drivers are doing a pretty good job right now of spreading themselves out, which is essentially what you want, to have some clean air in front of you, to be able to post the best lap time possible. Let's go and have a quick onboard with Jeremy. If I can find a good camera angle, there we go. Down into Druid's Bend, hard on the brakes. Doesn't look like he's had a good run at the start here, because he's already 0.26 down on his best. So I think he's going to need to stay out there for another lap and give it another flying lap go. We'll see if he can get a good exit here around Clark Curve down the main straight, and see if we can get a good top speed. You can see the driver's inputs in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, as well as the max speed. It looks like he's tipping out at 180 on the dot there, hard on the brakes. 4th gear, stays in 4th down. Hayward's heel running up to Druids, and he'll be hard on the brakes under the bridge down to 2nd gear, keeping it tight on the inside, running to the exit. And just before the Cooper Straight, there's Graham Hill Bend, who's just gone through. Still not managing to pick up a good amount of time yet. While it looks like a tiny lap, it's just not some of his best. I do see in the mirrors he is being hounded by another car, and that is Nick Hudson going at him for fun. Nick looking to get a good draft out of Jeremy, actually, and perhaps gain a 10th or so down the big straight there. And he's actually chucking it up on the inside, yeeting it. There's some contact, and that sends Nick wide into the kitty litter. And Jeremy is off on another lap. We're going to go and have a look at Martin Groenewald, who's tucked in behind Ross Bartle, I think. Not quite close enough to get a little bit of a draft boost, but doing well so far around corner T1. The Druids, he will try and stay with Ross as closely as possible. He's doing a good job. Perhaps, that almost looks like there's a bit of an intentional draft there by Ross. Perhaps they are helping each other. And getting a good tow across the line here, but it's not going to be an improvement on his lap times. Down by 0.4, ooh, I say that, 0.03, 0.02 down on his best. So good effort there by Martin, but not able to improve yet. Certainly a 53 point something lap time is decent here in split 1 so far. We see Hardest come across the line now for his next flying lap. Let's have a look at him on board as well, see the input. It's a little later than what we saw Jeremy doing into Druids. Just to maintain a good amount of speed around here actually then. Cuts the inside onto Cooper straight, manages to keep it within the track limits. This is actually a fantastic lap so far, 0.16 up on his delta. Can he maintain this? He's got clean air in front of him. Ooh, does he lose a little bit of time through McLaren's here, or does he manage to maintain the momentum up and around the hill? He did lose a little bit of time, unfortunately, so don't think he's going to be improving. He'll be kicking himself for that final set of corners, which until then looked like a really good lap. But certainly looking like on the money there, with his best being a 53.319. Which I think at the moment is putting him somewhere around 3rd or 4th in this qualifying so far. Ross Bartle out on track, and we have his sister Roxanne just behind him. And it looks like Roxanne's actually slowing off there. It was tucked in behind. Ross just not with the quickest of starts to this lap, so this is just going to be another sighting lap as he goes around and sets himself up for another flyer. Looks like that is the white livery of Martin Groeneveld just behind him. Yeah, just verify that. Yep. You go on board, we'll be seeing Ross Bartle just ahead of them, who we were on board with just a moment ago. Sunlight glinting off the rear. He sets himself up for his flying lap, crossing the start-finish line now. Tries to maintain the speed, and again, following Ross Bartle's line, braking under the bridge. Keeping it nice and tight, running as wide as he can without breaking those track limits, but he's lost some time here. Wasn't the best exit. Just going to focus on Mikhail Matthews for a little bit. Currently running in P2 in this race. In terms of lap time, he's posted a 53.26 for his best, which is pretty much slotting him in P2, P3, as I see Ross Bartle just clocked in a cracker. First person to break into the 52s with a 52.948, showing right up there on purple on your screen as Ross crosses the line. That's a fantastically quick lap time. But yeah, back to Mikhail Matthews. Let's see if he can make headways into improving. With just a minute 20 left in this race to go. And he's already slowing down, so has aborted this lap. Perhaps just making some clean air ahead of him. So you can give the best shot possible. Through Clark Curve, he's going to put on the gas full. And he is full speed ahead into Paddock Hill Bend. It's a really tricky corner here. I think it can make or break a whole lap. And he is coming up on Chris Bernardi, his purple or pink 25 car, hopefully not too close to impede, as this will be his very last, possibly last, I think, very close opportunity to bank a lap. But already with half a second down on his delta, I don't think it's going to be this one, but he has 27 seconds left in the race to be able to cross the finish line and do another one, which he might be able to. Should be in time. So here we go, essentially final lap of the race for Mikhail Matthews. He's going to get it in the nick of time. 3 seconds left on the clock, crosses the line in time. But now I think he's going to be hitting some traffic, cocks a wheel there over the curb through Halewoods Bend with a big puff of smoke. And now he's firmly caught up behind Chris Bernardi, who does get out of the way as Mikhail Matthews goes up the inside, but he's not going to be able to improve from there. On board now with Chris Bernardi, you'll see Mikhail Matthews in his right mirror go past. I think that's essentially it. Ross Bartle will be essentially taking top honors for this race in terms of the hot lap qualifying. Kudos to Jeremy de Villiers, who joined late but still managed to come out of P1 technically in race conditions, managing to do the most number of laps there. So Ross Bartle with a 52.948 is going to take top honors in the hot lap. We also saw Nick manage to get into the 52s with his 52.965. I don't see any other drivers in 52s. The highest place 53 that I can see seems to be Mikhail Matthews with a 53.261. Or actually I lied, Sean Bingham, apologies, 53.111. I think Sean Bingham managed to focus on now pulling over to the finish, gets the third podium spot for the hot lap qualifying for tonight. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope to see you all again soon. We will be back here next Monday at the start of the GT3 Championship. There's still time to join the Clios. We do have another hot lap qualifying session for the Clios on Wednesday. And if you didn't manage to make tonight, there's still time to register for that and do another qualifying session yourself on Wednesday if you'd like to join us. Head on over to the Discord, which is posted in chat just a few lines above us. Otherwise, I hope you all have a very good evening. Ciao for now.